Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 1 and our presentation for this topic is Islamic Microfinance, Empowering the Unbanked. So before we begin, let us introduce ourselves. My name is Muhammad Amir Nazarian Al-Faib bin Hajjaj Hamzah with ID number 22B0802.
My name is Muhammad Izzat bin Abidin, ID number 20B0203.
My name is Muhammad Nur Fazli Ihsan bin Muhammad Samis with ID number of 20B1001.
And my name is Awan Kumar Khairul Hazik bin Pensyarah Yusof with ID number 22B0827.
And my name is Muhammad Daniel Sarfuddin with ID number 22B0811.
Ladies and gentlemen, here are the things that we'll be looking at for our topic presentations. Starting from definitions of each terms, differences microfinance versus Islamic microfinance, the principles of Islamic microfinance, the history of microfinance. We will also be looking at the empowerment of unbanks, which is the financial inclusions and the alternative methods, the impact that includes social and economics, challenges, and a case study of Brunei, and last but not least, the conclusions. Ladies and gentlemen, you know that Brunei's national visions, which also known as Wawasan Brunei 2035, actually guided by the SDGs. This can be seen from the excerpts from His Majesty Sultan Haji Hassanah Bolkiah Muizzatin Watola, Sultan and Yang di-Pertuan of Brunei Darussalam's forward for the first voluntary nationals review in 2020. As His Majesty the Sultan said, Brunei Darussalam's SDGs journey is guided by its national visions for Wawasan Brunei 2035, where the country aspires to be widely recognized for its educated, highly skilled and accomplished people with a high quality of life and dynamic and sustainable economy by 2035. You notice our topic is Islamic microfinance, empowering the unbanked. But why? Why is it associated with the SDGs? Right? Well, Islamic microfinance has their own objectives that could also assist in achieving the 17 SDGs that's supposed to fulfill by 2030. Islamic microfinance and the Sustainable Development Goals SDGs can be closely related, particularly in the context of empowering the unbanked. Islamic microfinance, which operates based on principles of Islamic finance, that in purpose of providing financial services to individuals who are typically excluded from conventional banking systems, including the unbanked and underprivileged communities. This aligns with several of the SDGs, particularly first, SDG number 1, which is no poverty. Second, SDG 5, which is gender equality. Third, SDG 8, decent work and economic growth, and more. Next. As an intro, we'll be looking on the definitions for each terms. So, first, what is Islamic microfinance? Literal meanings. Islamic microfinance refers to financial services tailored to adhere to Islamic finance principle, providing access to financial products for individuals who follow Islamic law. The key word there is Islamic finance principles, which obviously guided by the Sharia principle derived from the Quran and Hadith. This includes the prohibitions of riba, which is the interest, risk sharing, ethical and social considerations. In technical meaning, involves the provisions of financial services complying with Sharia principles, like what I mentioned before, as this principle derived from Quran and Hadith. Therefore, the principle does not include and avoid interest riba, as well as adheres to ethical and socially responsible investing practices, as it aims to promote financial inclusions, poverty reductions, and community development. So this is what it could help in achieving the 17 SDGs. It offers services such as microloans that adhere to Islamic law, training programs. So this is basically a programs that train the borrowers about the financial literacy and communities benefits, which it prioritizes the developments of socioeconomics, combines microfinance principle with Islamic teaching, offer to the financial needs of Muslim clients, focuses on equity, social responsibility, and sustainable financial practices. Next, what is microfinance? So basically, Islamic microfinance and microfinance are two different things, right? So we can say that microfinance is Western-based. Literal meanings is the micro come from the Greek word micros, meaning small. Like inside microorganisms means the tiny living organism organisms such as bacteria, viruses, and some fungi. So micro means small. Finance, this refers to the management of money, especially just banking and investment. So to combine those two words become small money. For your information, microfinance is also known as microcredit. Technical meanings, microfinance refers to systems of providing financial services to low-income individuals and entrepreneurs. These individuals typically lack access to traditional banking services due to factors like low income, lack of collaterals, asset used to secure loan, informal business operations. So this refers to economic activities that are not officially registered or regulated by the government. So these businesses often operate outside the formal economy and may not comply with all legal requirements such as taxations, licensing, or labor regulation. For example, the street vendors, small-scale enterprises, or household-based activities, etc. And then geographical remoteness, which the degree of isolation or distance of a location from major population centers, transportation hubs, or other areas of economics or social activity. Next, what is unbanked? Literal meanings. According to the Cambridge Business English Dictionary, unbanked means people who do not have bank accounts. Also, the term unbanked refers to individuals or households who do not have access to traditional banking services or do not have a bank account. Technical meanings, unbanked refers to segments of the populations that lack access to basic financial services offered by traditional banking institutions. So these services may include saving account, checking accounts, loans, and other financial products. Therefore, unbanked individuals often rely on alternative financial services such as cash transactions, informal lending, or mobile money services due to barriers such as lack of documentations, proximity to bank branches, which means how close someone to something is to physical locations of bank. It is a measure of the distance or nearness between a particular locations and the nearest bank branches, or distrust of formal financial institutions as you have lack of confidence towards the banks.
So I'll be explaining about the differences between the unbanked and underbanked. So unbanked is people who do not have any checking or saving account with regular bank. They mostly deal with the physical money and assets. As for the underbanked, is people who have at least one bank account, but often use other financial services like a payday loan or checking cashing. They might use both traditional banking and alternative option. So as for the overview on the role of financial institution in Islamic country for supporting the unbanked. The first one is the policy making. Government create rules to encourage Islamic finance and make it easier for Islamic banks to operate. They ensure that these banks follow Sharia law while serving the unbanked. The second one is the financial literacy program. This is bank and government team up to teach the unbanked basic money skills, like how to manage money and use banking services. The second one is microfinance initiative. This is for the government and bank offer a small loan and saving account to the unbanked, helping them to start businesses or improve their life. The second one is technology adoption. The bank use technology like mobile banking to reach people in rural areas who can't easily access the traditional bank. The fifth one is the partnership and the collaborations. This is government work with international groups and companies to find new ways to help the unbanked. The sixth one is the monitoring and evaluations. Governments and banks regularly check to see if their efforts are working and make changes if needed. They want to make sure that everyone who needs banking and services can access them. And Islamic nation, government and financial institutions are actively working together to empower the unbanked, promote economic growth, and support inclusive development within their societies.
So next, I'll be explaining about the differences between microfinance and Islamic microfinance. So the first one is microfinance, or also known as the conventional microfinance. So microfinance, also known as microcredits, provides banking services to low-income individuals or organizations lacking access to traditional financial services. So it facilitates small business loans in line with ethical lending standards, similar to traditional lenders with interest rates and specific repayment arrangement. So microfinance is frequent in developing countries like Bangladesh, India, Afghanistan, and others. So serving unemployed or low-income individuals who cannot access traditional financial institutions. So the next one is Islamic microfinance. So Islamic microfinance adheres to Islamic finance principles based on the teaching of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and the Quran. So it also offers Sharia-compliant financial services to low-income individuals or economies with contractual provision, avoiding interest-based transaction. So Islamic microfinance is viewed as a tool for poverty reduction and financial inclusion, broadening the market for Muslims seeking Sharia-compliant financial structures. So the next one is about the historical event on Islamic microfinance by the Prophet Muhammad SAW itself. So Prophet Muhammad started as a poor individual and later become a successful businessman, largely due to microfinance provided by Khadija, Sayyidatina Khadija, through Mudarabah-based profit and loss sharing. So trade played a crucial role in Arabia's economy, with towns relying on the exchange of goods over long distances, necessitating significant risk capital. The Quran praises trade but also encourages self-sufficiency and discourages dependency on handout among the poor. Microfinance also shares common goals with Islamic banking, promoting entrepreneurship, risk sharing, and inclusion of poor in business ventures. Both system issues collateral-free loans in certain situations, solving affected poor business excluded from traditional credit markets. The association between Islamic banking and microfinance not only benefits poor businesses, but also allows investors in Islamic banks to diversify their assets. So the next one is the principle of Islamic microfinance. So the first one is asset-backed finance. This type of financing supports loan products that are secured by actual and physical asset. So the next one, the second one is Islamic finance focuses on profit and loss sharing structures. This indicates that the risk is shared by all parties involved in contract and transaction. The third one is Islamic banking promotes social welfare, enabling access to education, healthcare, and basic services viewed as social welfare. In addition, any financial arrangement that allows social welfare considered as beneficial in Islam. The next one, the fourth one is Islamic microfinance prioritizes ethical investment practices. Eventually, each investment must offer value to people and society. And lastly, Islamic finance always contradict with interest, or known as riba based financing. So in Islam, charging or paying interest is considered as haram or prohibited. So that is the principle of Islamic microfinance.
So we have covered all the basics of Islamic microfinance. So let us explore the roles of such institutions in assisting the empowerment of the unbanked community. So beyond just providing financial assistance, Islamic microfinance institutions will foster a sense of economic empowerment through skill developments, entrepreneurship, and investment in supportive infrastructure, within the addition of adhering to Sharia compliance principles. We have categorized the methods of empowerment into two. The first one being financial inclusion, which will cover all technical strategies, referring to approaches of increasing the accessibility of financial products and services. Second, we'll touch on alternative methods of assistance, i.e. on the aspects of providing direct support, which are ultimately more targeted and operational in nature. So financial inclusion can be defined as the accessibility and affordability of financial services for all types of individuals, although modern services remain secluded from a certain portion of underserved communities due to the underdeveloped financial infrastructure. Therefore, this is where Islamic microfinance emerge as key players to promote financial inclusion. Here are a few common types of strategies that have been utilized throughout. Number one is educational awareness campaigns, where institutions develop targeted awareness campaigns aiming to educate the unbanked population about the benefits of Islamic microfinance that enables them to foster trust and encourage financial service engagements. Additionally, supplementing these efforts with the financial literacy programs could further enhance financial knowledge and skills, empowering them to make better informed financial decisions. Number two is the tailored financial products and services. This part touches on developing suitable financial solutions that aligns with the current needs and demands of the market, especially of those unbanked, making it easily accessible of their products and services. A quick example of a case study is the card microfinance in Uganda, where they implemented the product called the Agricultural Group Guarantee Loans, or known as AGGLs, that provide credit to smallholder farmers who are overlooked by traditional lenders. And the last one is the mobile banking and digital solutions. So as we all know, the current rise of financial technology, also known as fintech, has fundamentally transformed our global financial landscape through leveraging technologies and introducing innovative solutions that enhance financial services. Solutions such as mobile banking and digital payments may as well be a potential to enhance delivery of financial services, making it more accessible, affordable, and efficient to a broader audience. Moving on, while internal strategies, such as previously discussed, are important, however, alternative assistance aims to bridge the gaps between financial services and the marginalized population. Institutions here not only seek to provide access to services, but also empowering them economically to gain efficient benefits. So here are several methods that have been utilized within the context of alternative assistance. And number one is the conducting outreach programs. So this method refers to the conducting of community engagements through building trust and relationships that can effectively address the challenges and provide necessary support for improvements directly to the unbanked communities. For instance, the so-called SPI program in Ethiopia developed an outreach program connecting a significant portion of the rural and urban poor. Here they prioritize sustainability and an extensive outreach that tackled the issues of poverty and food security. The next method is on capacity building and literacy programs. So similar to the outreach programs, the method conducts engagement through enhancing financial knowledge, skills, and capabilities, where the programs, such as workshops and training sessions on fundamental concepts like budgeting and responsible borrowing, can further provide development opportunities in entrepreneurship and business management, allowing further economic growth. And the last method we will be touching is on the micro enterprise development support, which focuses more on providing tailored financial and non-financial support to individuals engaged in small-scale businesses or micro enterprises. So the potentially to provide market linkages and access to market information could help the micro entrepreneurs expand their customers base and reach new markets, hence improving economic opportunities. Now we're moving on to the impacts of Islamic microfinance. So based on the empowerment methods that we have discussed before, we have seen that Islamic microfinance are a powerful agent of change, especially for the unbanked. Furthermore, other than providing financial services, institutions also directly or indirectly assist in driving a social and economic transformation. So for first, we will be looking at the social impacts. So number one is the empowerment of vulnerable groups, where enhancement and promotion of inclusion extend towards reaching the marginalized groups, such as women, ethnic minorities, and people with disabilities. So this helps to overcome economic barriers and social economic participation. And the second social impact is on the community development projects, where institutions manage to encourage social cohesion and collective actions in order to facilitate more infrastructure improvements, leading to a better economic growth. And the last one is on enhanced social cohesion and inclusion. So as a summary to previous points, the impacts included promoting community participation in decision-making processes and development initiatives, which strengthens social bonds between lenders, which is the banks, or in financial institutions and their users. Now we're going on to the economic impacts. So number one is the poverty alleviation and income generation. Through the possible opportunities of entrepreneurship and self-employment, it enables investments from individuals within income-generating activities such as businesses or agriculture. And the second one is job creation and entrepreneurship. In connection with the previous point, it also enables all sorts of individuals to start their own businesses and pursue economic opportunities. And the last economic impact is on sustainable economic growth. In overall perspective, microfinance can manage to empower individuals to participate in economic activities, invest in income-generating projects, and contribute to overall economic development. And now we'll be moving on to challenges of empowering the unbanked. So there are many challenges when empowering the unbanked, but here we will be listing only four of the main challenges. So number one is on regulatory environment, where there is a lack of a comprehensive regulatory framework for Islamic finance in general, restrictions on certain financial practices or products, and the varying interpretations of Sharia principles across multiple jurisdictions. And the second one is market penetration, where there is limited awareness and understanding of Islamic financial products, possibly due to cultural and religious factors or infrastructural limitations. The third one is on human capital. So here the main challenge is the availability of quality skilled professionals. Even if you do have one, it is limited in number and sometimes difficult to attract or retain them for a long time due to job competitiveness. In addition, not everyone knows Islamic finance quite well, which brings to difficulty in ensuring the adherence of certain individuals to Sharia principles and ethical standards. And the last one is on the effective rates of empowering the unbanked. So this refers to the complexity of measuring impact of the Islamic microfinances interventions, the sustainability and scalability of their initiatives, as well as the potential of having governance issues and other internal challenges.
So now we'll take a look at a brief case study of Brunei. So according to a 2020 financial inclusion survey for the Financial Stability Report released in 2021 by the Brunei Darussalam Central Bank or the BDCB, the level of financial inclusion in Brunei Darussalam was relatively high at a rate of 83%, whereas the percentage of the unbanked or financially excluded in the country is around 60.4%. So here you can see the 16.4% of the unbanked or financially excluded are those at the ages of 15 and above. And the reasons for this financial exclusion is that 18.9% of them do not need financial services at a formal institution. So this may be because they don't feel that like they require any services offered by a financial institution, as they might rely on informal institutions instead, and as they believe they can manage their finances adequately without formal banking. And next, there's 9.3% that feel like they do not have money to use financial institutions' products and services. Since financial services often come with fees and minimum balance, which can be prohibitive for those with limited financial resources, low-income individuals may find it challenging to afford the costs associated with formal banking. And then around 5.4% have stated that family member has an account already. So this one, if a family member already has an account, some individuals might prefer to rely on that existing arrangement rather than opening their own separate account. So this could be due to the convenience, trust, or the cultural norms or within the family. Then around 4.3% of the population in Brunei cannot open the account. So barriers such as bureaucratic requirements, lack of appropriate identification, or restrictive eligibility criteria can prevent individuals from opening bank accounts. So, and this could be due to legal status, residency status, or other factors. And around 2.1% do not have the necessary documentation, such as their identity card and or their wage slip. So next, 1.4% of population in Brunei have their distance is too far away from the nearest financial institution in Brunei. There are many population in Brunei that are still living in rural areas and are still far away from financial institutions. And the next 1.1% of the population do not trust in financial institutions, and 0.4% have their own religious reasons for not opening a bank account, and around 2.1% are due to other factors that are excluded, that make them excluded from the financial institution. So next is one of the financial institutions Brunei that was implemented as an initiative. So here we take a look at TAIB, or Tabung Amanah Islam Brunei, which was established in 1991, and it operates under the principles of Islamic finance, offering a range of microfinance products tailored to meet the needs of the unbanked population. So some of the offered products from TAIB is Carded Hasan, Mudarabah financing, and Takaful services. So TAIB's microfinance products cater to various segments of the unbanked population, including small business owners, farmers, and individuals from low-income households. And as for the impact that TAIB has made towards the unbanked population in Brunei, through access to interest-free financing and Islamic insurance, microfinance borrowers have been able to improve their livelihoods, generate income, and create employment opportunities within their communities, as well as empowering women entrepreneurs and increasing the gender equality in Brunei.
In conclusions, Islamic microfinance promotes financial inclusions and poverty reductions by Sharia-compliant financial services to undeserved individuals. It utilizes concepts such as profit sharings, asset-backed financings, more investing and avoidance of interest to empower communities economically. So this is truly adhere to Sharia financials principle. And then techniques like Cardo Asand, Mudarabah, Ijara, and Musharaka are employed to provide economic empowerment and promote social welfare. In Islamic countries, the unbanked are supported by financial institutions and governments through various programs, policy, and initiatives, including the microfinance. Islamic microfinance significantly reduces poverty by empowering marginalized groups, supporting community development, increasing social cohesion, and etc. Despite obstacles like Sharia standardizations, human capital, market penetrations, and so on, there are opportunities for growth and innovations through fintech, which is the fintech integration, educations, the use of wakaf or zakat funds, and increased financial inclusions initiatives. So these steps will further elevate the unbanked populations and contribute to their economic empowerment. Thank you.